Good afternoon, I'm Camilla Oz with Hit the Bid, brought to you by T3 Live and Mutz's by Strites for the unleavened experience of a lifetime. The markets are uneasy and anxious at present, reflecting the global news headlines, from the tragic events in Japan and the subsequent nuclear crisis to our Operation Odyssey Dawn in Libya. Yes, it's official, we've named it. The markets now have too much to pay attention to. The dynamics are too volatile and overwhelming, which means it's become a situation of watch and wait. Of course, there are always a few stocks trading on their own circumstances. First up, we have Walgreens, WAG. The stock may have to steal an antidepressant from the pharmacy, as it's falling short on some analysts' estimates. Also, there is Molycorp, MCP, one of the high-flying rare earth stocks having a huge update. Oddly enough, this comes after the reiterated sell call on the stock by Mad Money host Jim Cramer. Can't get them all right, Jim. Well, here's a guy whose claim to fame is getting them mostly wrong and helping you along the way. Take it away, Kenny Glick.
Thank you, Camilla. Fantastic stuff. What's going on, people? So yes, as Camilla was saying, they have named it. But before we get started, I just wanted to say thoughts and prayers out to the people of Japan. And on that note, thoughts and prayers to everybody around the world. With all the political strife going on, you should always take a moment to be thankful for what's going on in your life and be thankful for what you have and what's going on that's good in your life. So, that being said, Operation Odyssey Dawn. Who comes up with this stuff? Now, I'm trying to figure out, is there a room full of guys trying to figure out what to name this thing? Because it's official, like Camilla said, now that it's named, it's going to go down in the record books. This is something big. And what I want to know is why Libya? Why this country did we decide to use the big guns? Why did we start spending all this money on Libya? I think I figured it out. And everybody in the media right now is trying to figure out the same thing. Oh, they're saying it's the oil. Oh, they're saying it's time for this dictator to be done. It's time for this. I think it's time to get rid of him so we can stop spelling the guy's name wrong. How many different spellings are there for Gaddafi? You got the Gaddafi, you got the Qaddafi, you got the Quadafi, you got the Qaddafi, you got the QK Gaddafi. And for all you Scrabble players out there looking for words that don't have a U after your Q, you got Qaddafi, Qaddifi. There's a fantastic spelling. Let's not even get into how many different ways you can spell the first name of the guy. Gaddafi, Quaddafi. Moving on. So right now, political uncertainty. You got political strife. You got disasters out there. Nobody knows what to do. Uncertainty. People don't want to be participating in the market. Now, at the same time, I agree with that. There's always something going on. Which leads me to my first stock, FFIV. Shikablaf. If you take a look at the chart, this stock absolutely wrecked my world today. Because even though I was coming in looking for short situations, here's a stock that had already gotten beat up. So early in the morning, it was gaining some strength. So I was thinking, you know what, let's junk the idea and do what the market is providing. I got into the stock, it hit 3 subsequent new highs, and then proceeded to drop 2 points in my face. Now, normally, this would be a situation where I would be looking for the stock to go negative. And as it went negative, I was too emotional. And what I tell you about emotions, don't let that get in your way. I was too emotional to flip sides and go short, which would have in turn made all the money back that I lost on the long side. Which brings me to my next stock, CMG. Shika-flicka! CMG was one of those stocks that actually was getting weak. So we took a look at the stock. First, it had this little bar down, almost went negative, spiked back up, and again, we're talking about a $250 stock. So a 70-cent move in a $250 stock is nothing. Then it rolled over, and next thing you know, this thing's going negative, all the way down 3 or 4 points, and there could have been your day. Which brings me to our next one, WYNN. They got the WYNN, which did basically the same exact thing, tried to hold on to some strength, started to get weak, went red, and we love these reversals. The stock went down, and next thing you know, this is becoming a 4 or 5 point trade on the day. fantastic stuff. There's always opportunities in the market, which brings me to what you also want to talk about is investing. As much as we want to make money on a daily basis and be a part of, making money, taking something out of the market, there are situations that come up like the JBL. Let's take a look at the JBL chart. Let's go take a look at the daily chart. Now, here's a stock, okay? 1 quarter ago, the stock had a great quarter and had a nice move up, made a subsequent, as my new favorite word of the day, move up, and then some follow-through. And then, of course, we had our political catastrophes and everything else, and the stock got hit, and it's a chip stock, which also leads me to the fact of the sympathy trade. The sympathy trade. About a week ago, Sanmina, a company in the same industry, came out with this awful report. And as it turned out, Jabil took a beat down along with the Sanmina. Now, there's 2 ways of thinking about this. So Sanmina had a bad quarter, okay? So people call it the sympathy trade because then Jabil gets hit, thinking that, well, if Sanmina's having a bad quarter, that means Jabil Circuitry's having a bad quarter. I, on the other hand, like to take the other view. If Sanmina is having a bad quarter, maybe it's because Jabil is taking the money away from the Sanmina. So let's look at the Jabil. So coincidentally, the trade was so perfect, chick-a-blaff, if we're looking at the chart, it went right back to about 1885, which was our entry from last quarter. So the symmetry here was just too amazing to give up on this one. So our entry was 1885, and lo and behold, they just came out with earnings about a half an hour ago, and the stock's up 2 points in the aftermarket. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, or otherwise, duh, winning. All right, well, that concludes my little soliloquy of the day. I'd like to throw it back to Camilla for any last words on the day. Camilla, would you like to wrap us up?
Sure. Well, I don't have much to add to that amazing analysis. I was actually just looking at that graph and wondering what I could actually see as an image there. It actually looks like it could be some kind of strange snake, or we could call it maybe a dragon. Anyway, we'll leave that visual interpretation for next time. Thank you, Kenny.
Speaking of strange snakes, fade out now.